Call to order the McCordsville Architectural Review Committee meeting, Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. Roll call.
Dr. Brian Burney.
Here.
Bethany Frost.
Here.
Mark Nelson.
Here.
Tom Strayer.
Here.
And we have the August minutes to approve. And I was not at that meeting. I would not have been a good time.
You were sick, weren't you?
I was really sick. I was throwing up in between meetings during the day, so I was happy to be working from home, but I was like, I can't.
I move we approve the August minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I abstain. Old business?
None.
New business?
We have one. There we go. Okay, so Hampton Walk Area F, the petitioner will talk a little bit about where that's at and some other aspects of Hampton Walk. Excuse me, I'm on the wrong PowerPoint. So I will invite them up to give their presentation and we will go from there.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Deerdorf. I'm the Land Acquisition Manager with Fisher Homes. We're located at 6602 East 75th Street in Indianapolis, 46250. We are back before you tonight with our masterpiece collection. As you may know, the masterpiece represents our last and final collection that has yet to be built in Hampton Walk. We're excited that the new section is underway and getting ready to start. And so we're before you tonight for final approval of those plans and elevations. It's hard to believe, but it's been about 2 years since our original PUD came through. At that time, we had, approximately, 8 to 10 floor plans in the masterpiece collection that we presented to the ARC, and all were approved. In true Fisher form, we've updated collection and elevations and plans, etc. We eliminated all but 4 plans and have new plans tonight as well to look through. So as Ryan mentioned, this is our last section, last collection, as well. The masterpiece represents our largest homes. The collection will start in the high 500s and go up to probably around 800,000 in Hampton Walk. And excited to take a look at some of these tonight. Ryan, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Just keep it brief if you guys have any questions. We understand, before staff mentions this, that we are still agreeing to all of the commitments in the PUD for the architecture section based on the concept plan. So roof pitch, windows on the side, high impact sites, rears, garages, all of that. So just new plans and new elevations.
Well, she took care of the first part of our staff report, which was just confirming that all the architectural requirements in the PUD will be met. So we can skip on to, in the staff report, down to page 3, where we talk about some specific concerns and questions. And so staff has done its normal review of its ARC packet. And there's just a few items on, not all, but probably most of the floor plans that we were not able to ascertain just from the drawings provided. So primarily those things are things that be related to garage door width, overall garage width, garage protrusion, and then wall plane articulation, and then roof plane as well. So I don't know if you want us to just roll through our staff report, if you'd rather kind of take the reins and tell us what you want to see or talk about as a board.
I mean, it sounds like we could almost handle, since there's these same concerns on each one of them, we could almost handle them in bulk if they're willing to say, yeah, they're all going to meet these, then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there's some that you can't meet, then
No. We're aware.
So-
for example, as many times we've been through here, you guys probably could do my job for me by now. But even if a roof pitch on the masterpiece plan says 512, for example, as Ryan's commented, or in some they're not on there, their newer plans, etc. We know internally we will opt to have that on the home. So when the permit comes through, the building actual blueprint building plan that McCordsville receives, it'll show a 612 roof pitch. It'll show an additional window on the side if needed per the PD commitments. It will show brick wainscot per the elevation requirements and masonry requirements, I should say, that we have. So that's how that's handled. We have our own internal audit, if you will, and or other customer selections. So all of those will be on. The minimum per the PUD will come in through permitting with each of those options and or customer selections as well.
So are you saying that you think the houses currently meet that 22-foot garage, or if it doesn't, you'll have a bump out on it?
That's exactly correct. Yes. We'll have to go through, it's 22 feet, or we have to add a 3-car garage.
Or you could do a bump of some sort.
Right. And if it's side load, that goes away as well. And a lot of our side load, there's a motor court option. So we know the plans that, the narrower plans that have the narrower garage width, we would just then have a site note that when the consumer selects that plan, they have to include a 3-car garage.
When you say motor court, that's the two load side load and then a 1-load front, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And when you said side load that goes away, is that just because your side loads are automatically larger?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if there was any that the garage door was more than 50%, that would probably just have to go away because you're changing the whole house.
That's correct. That's correct.
Or,
Yeah.
or it's forced to be a side load at that point.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Or it's forced to be a side load. That's when that
Yeah.
commitment goes away. Excuse me, I think I was confusing the 22-foot wide with the addition of the 3rd-car garage.
And we had these in different lists. We had kind of our big list of all the normal stuff in one list and all these in a separate, because some builders really have trouble with that. So, they can't just alter some of their plans as much, or their lot size doesn't allow them to alter the plans, and so therefore they just can't meet them. So I think what Fisher's is saying here is we can meet it, and that's good to hear. So
Well, they have plenty of lot width here.
plenty of lot width here.
We've
And
lot with plenty of plans.
so these don't have dimensions on them because they're renderings of homes whose dimensions wouldn't meet these standards. So you can put the dimensions, so you're saying that when their building plans come forth, they will meet the standards. Is that what it is?
That's correct. You got it. That's exactly.
So that's why some of these look like they don't meet them, because they probably don't if the dimensions were on them, but they're
Yes.
going to be redone so that they do meet it when their plans are presented.
That's correct. Yeah.
Well, plus normally when we see dimensioned plans, they're on like the construction
That's right.
drawing set. They aren't usually on these presentation drawings.
That's correct.
Can you clear up my front porch question for me, Ryan?
Yeah, remind me what it was again.
Oh, about the square footage of front porches. I didn't really see that in the commitments for this PUD, but it does look like there are some renderings where you have sort of a front door and it sort of steps down almost immediately without a front porch. And typically we have like, can't remember, it's 20 square feet or 30 square feet for a front porch.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I'm double checking, but I don't believe there is a minimum porch size with this PUD.
I didn't see one.
Yeah.
I'm asking if there is.
No, I don't believe that there is.
Some of them do have that.
Some do. We kind of the standard language we've been using. It must have been after this PUD was minimum 4 foot of depth and or minimum square footage of 24 square feet. But I don't think that's in this PUD. So
That's
Plus, the way I look at these are a higher end of what we normally see, so that that detail is less important to me than everything else that's going on in the house.
Yeah, the architecture here, I don't really have any problems with any of it. As long as the measurements that we really can't see because the dimensions aren't here are guaranteed to be met, I don't really see any problems with any of it.
So it sounds like the main thing that you wanted us to discuss after all of that is probably the character exhibit concerns.
Correct.
Well, many of the homes that were approved with the zoning change you've withdrawn now, right?
Well, these are still on here.
Discontinued. I mean, they're on here, but in the matrix, the orange-colored matrix at
Yes.
the bottom, there's a number of the series there listed.
That's
I can
correct.
tell you what they are. I don't
Yeah.
sit here and see it, but
Yeah,
I
the
think
petitioner just
it's
removed,
right here.
petitioners removed those from their lineup, not due to any comments from the town. They
No.
just have changed their product.
We don't offer them anywhere in the country anymore,
So-
so they're completely gone.
So these
These are like
7 or
the,
8 that you have listed here are ones that they're still proposing.
Correct.
so the Andover and the Bradford and the Hayden and the Keller and the Marsh have all been dropped.
That's correct.
And many of those were ones that were approved when the zoning was changed.
Those were the ones that were approved, that's correct.
But they're
Yeah.
in here, and when I look at them and compare them with the new ones, I think the character and quality is...
They aren't in the 2 packets, though.
Well, some of them aren't. They-
So we included the original exhibit from the PUD because that's the illustrative character exhibit.
Yeah, so some of them are in here, and they're just included because they're ones that we approved when the zoning was changed.
So
So,
me
but
back up
comparing the
first.
character and quality of the new ones to the ones that we approved before that have since been dropped, it seems to me that it's similar.
Okay.
If that makes sense?
I didn't.
They're in Ryan's staff report, but they're not in the 2 petitions.
Yeah, that I understood, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I think Dr. Murray's saying is he feels that they are in character. So
Okay.
Yeah, they're in our packet. You included them
They're in the staff
So-
to
report.
look at.
Does it make sense to go through those few that you listed just to see?
Yeah, can we
Sure.
look at those?
How do you want me to split screen it maybe?
Mine printed out.
I think most of these on your list were more style issues than they were.
Probably. You're probably right. No.
They're much more current, modern, updated. We really played with different roof lines and garage configurations, and you'll notice more court garages, just a lot of variation to keep the streetscape.
So that Andover's
Interesting.
been discontinued, right?
That's correct.
So the first one that we listed as, and again, staff's just thought these were things to point out to the Architectural Review Committee. We weren't necessarily making any statement about them. First one was the clay modern retreat with brick. Boy, I can't read it here. There's that one. On the left is a proposed elevation. And again, on the right side of the screen is the illustrative character exhibit. So I'll just kind of scroll through this.
There's a clay.
What was that?
That's a clay.
That is a more simplistic style, but I think there's still some elements in it that, I mean, I could go either way. I don't have a problem with it, simply because that style is a simpler style.
Anybody else have a strong opinion?
I'm okay with that one. And the style, I think, as enough.
The next one
Me too.
is it's in black and white, but it's picture this with stone instead of brick. So I think if you thought the brick one was fine, you probably assume the stone one's fine. We can keep moving here. The Finley modern European. I think that might be in.
I would have more problem with the stone because it's not as simplistic, but I don't think I have a big problem with it.
Okay. Here you go.
I did reach out to the folks right on the east side of Mount Comfort Road across from Area F. There's 4 owner-occupied single-family homes there that are all, 3 of the 4 are fairly high-end. And I heard back from one owner who said they had no problems with any of the renderings. And the other 3, received a link to this meeting and an invitation to attend or respond, and I got neither from any of those 3, but they were contacted.
Okay. I'll just kind of scroll again through the illustrative architectural exhibit.
I think one thing that the one on the left has going for it is, even in its simplicity, it has a whole lot more windows than most houses do.
It's got a lot.
It's still a nice house,
Okay.
even though I like some of the ones that were discontinued better. I think they're similar in character and quality.
Bethany or Mark, any different feelings than that?
I like everything I've seen so far.
Okay. Let's move on to the Mitchell American Classic. That might be in the second PDF.
I think it is, yeah. The Margot certainly isn't boring.
No, it is not.
That one? I think it was that one.
It's this one in black and white, yeah.
But isn't like the one, the next one?
Yeah, it's just picture brick on that one. First floor brick.
I think the reason I don't have a problem with this one is I think it's just a good example of early traditional, and if it had more details, it wouldn't look the same.
Can you scroll back up there? Looks exactly
Yeah.
Keep going.
right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well-
this is what was approved.
oh, it was approved the rezone. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
I
the
know why,
one-
because the black and white one
it's
wasn't.
just the brick.
The brick
Yeah.
one
Okay.
wasn't.
We don't have a color rendering of
Yeah.
it, so it's just the brick. That's the difference.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem either way.
Okay.
Overall, I'm impressed with all of them, I think. Just that they are higher end houses than what a lot of them have been that were built, but for the size and everything, I think they have good quality.
That one, I mean, I'll go ahead and, if you felt all the other ones were of similar character and quality, then I think it's safe to say that one is as well. We can move on to the Tegan, which is way down.
What would be, for instance, the front width of some of these homes that you're proposing compared to the 80-foot lot? What kind of side yards are we talking about?
So our product width ranges from 48 feet to 56 feet. Our average lot size is 80 feet.
So maybe 15 feet on side
Wasn't
That's
of each
correct.
house, so maybe
Wasn't that
30 feet
last one?
between homes.
Both of these two.
That's correct. And this section also has a commitment of a certain percentage of side entry garages. So then you have a 22-foot driveway on the side as well.
So,
The only thing that bothered me about this one is because of the height of that gable, you end up with a joint there, and I think that joint looks, doesn't look as high quality as the other houses do.
I would agree with that. That's probably my least favorite.
there's the stone, there's also a brick version of it.
I mean, overall, I don't mind it, because once again, it's more simplistic style, but I really think that that takes away from it. You can see how that you couldn't get bigger board than that, and so you had to splice it.
I didn't like that either.
That's the tricky thing about the vertical siding.
So how, do you feel it meets the character and quality of the illustrative exhibit, or no?
Not quite, probably. Compared to the Mitchell American Classic, I don't think it's quite there.
I don't know what you'd do, but even if you change the material in that peak, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. But to me, it detracts from the quality to have that splice in there.
What can you do to change that?
And you mean the horizontal?
Yeah. But I might be the only one that bothers.
No, I bought it, me too.
Well, you can't really get lumber that long.
Yeah. It's a
It's like
design
that.
issue, not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
material issue.
Yeah, that's a long piece to be vertical.
But I'm not sure what else you would put in there in that simplistic style that wouldn't detract further. So I guess in that I'm saying it's not the same quality because it's,
This is something that we would need to vote on, one way or the other.
Say not the same quality.
how many, do you have very many houses that are just the single story like that? I can't remember.
There's 3 models, I think.
Mm-hmm, that's correct. And there's other elevations.
Yeah, there's a bunch. That one.
That one's better.
Yes.
I don't mind that one as much because it's board and bat and the horizontal is the same bat.
Winslow has some nice elevations.
Those look nice there.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Those are all good. Just the one. Yeah, that guy. Maybe it's the way for it to make it look so plain compared to its peers.
We can always come back around to this and move on to other items if you'd like.
So, yeah, so we would just say we don't accept Teagan modern European brick or stone.
Yes, it does. You would cite that it doesn't meet the illustrative character and quality exhibit of the PUD ordinance.
Works for me.
So moved.
I agree.
All right, last 2 things for staff. Amanda, remind me on your product. If you have a front elevation that just has stone on it, and you have a wrap requirement, does stone go around all 4 sides, or do you transition to a brick for your sides and rears?
No, it would be the front material.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then last thing staff has then is just run through anti-monotony. We have, I think, 11 combinations to go through if you're ready for that.
I did have one other comment to consider, and I apologize. I was reading through our architect department notes. There was one plan, Ryan, where you had noted, and this is a nuance in the commitments about an 812 gable on the front.
Mm-hmm.
We would ask that
The prairies.
if the elevation is approved tonight, that we don't have to meet that because it's not essentially applicable
Yeah.
or able to be achieved
Is it
because
just
of
the
the
prairie or
architecture.
is it?
You know, I think just Based on Ryan's comments,
I know I hit it for the Winslow Modern Prairie.
yeah,
I'm looking for elsewhere. Not there.
If it would be easy to find those.
Yep, we can do that. Let me just see if there's more besides the Winslow
I
Prairie.
didn't see it, Ryan, but
There was none of them that I noticed that detracted from the style.
and that's my other comment. I know we let some of the modern in the designer and Maple Street series also be approved. If the ARC board approved the elevation, we essentially kind of waived that commitment because it was due to architectural style and/or from a scale perspective, everything looked cohesive and attractive, for lack of a better word. Aesthetically looked like it worked.
Okay, we got a few, so let's go to them. I think the Finley's gonna be we're on the second PDF. So the first one that we noted that on is gonna be the Teagan American class. I think that's up here, maybe. Oops.
That's it right there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those gable pitches apparently are not 812. I had black and white drawings that I would have. Maybe it just wasn't noted.
They're at least 612, aren't they?
Oh, they're not noted. Excuse me. So I didn't know for sure on this
Yeah.
one. So I went ahead and cited because I didn't know. That looks close to 812. Just eyeballing it.
6 or 8.
I guess I feel there's enough detail in the style that if it's not, I feel like we could approve it based on what we've seen, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna start taking notes. This is where it gets complicated. So give me a second. Okay, the next one was.
Because that one actually doesn't look much different than the one on the right. I didn't think.
Pitches are pretty much the same.
So obviously, then the two prairies of the. This says the Pearson, but it's the Winslow.
That's all hip.
The Pearson's a two-story.
That's the prairie
Anything with continuous hip roofs, I don't think should be an issue.
So I'm gonna write down all modern prairies. Okay, gables as presented.
Yeah, they typically have a flatter roof.
Well, and it wouldn't meet the tenets of a prairie style if it did have a gable, so.
They're out there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Just like that with the gable.
But then it's not a prairie, I
Right.
think is what she's saying.
Right, but they're around. People do build them and buy them.
That one was weird.
Hold on. Finley.
That was one that I noticed, the single story that looked like a flat garage roof.
Here? Oh, back up.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Prairie
couldn't see
style.
that, my screen was so dark I couldn't see the hip.
It's there. It's hard to see, but it's there.
Yeah.
This would fall into that modern prairie category of.
Mhm.
And actually I caught myself right here because I realized I probably missed it here. These two are probably not they're not 812.
Right.
You got it.
Hmm? Did I have it in
You
my-
got that one.
Did I have it in my report?
Mhm.
Darn. Okay. So that would be one for your consideration as well.
I think that's okay.
Once again, I don't have a problem if it's a hip roof,
Okay. with
because it actually reduces the amount of shingles that you see on the face of it.
It's got multiple siding materials and lots of windows and corbels. And
Lots of different projections.
That's good.
Porches and.
Good.
I believe that's all the ones that we cited as either didn't know or the gable was less than 812.
I think those gables are okay, consistent with the style of the homes.
All right, last to do then is everyone's favorite, anti-monotony. Oh, so just front leading statement, all models floor plans to the same model floor plan regardless of material, i.e. brick versus stone, or porch, whether it be a regular porch or an extended porch, or garage orientation, which means front or side. All that's the same from an anti-monotony perspective. So if it's the Finley Coastal Classic, regardless of those different things, it can't go next to a Finley Coastal Classic or across the street, or you know how our thing works. So that said, the ones that do not have the same name that we thought could be considered like models are here. I think we've got 11 combinations. Again, as always, these are ones that we've thought, oh, maybe they're close enough to be considered by, and then we leave it to the board to make a decision. So first up is the Beckett Coastal Classic and the Paxton American Classic.
Different?
Different.
Close but different.
Okay, that's 3. Next is the Beckett Coastal Classic and the Rhodes American Classic.
I think that gable over the garage makes it different enough. Everything else is, well,
And the one's a
the
three-car
porch
garage, the
doesn't
other's
come
a
out as
2.
far on the third well, if it's a third garage.
Could the one on the right be built as a 2-car garage, similar to the one on the left, or it'd have to have 3?
Yes. The Rhodes is this garage is optional.
So it would be a window similar to what you'd see on the left.
That's correct. If someone would
That's
rather
why-
have.
That's exactly why we don't look at the garage configuration.
Yeah.
It makes it way too complicated from a administration of permit standpoint.
So for our sake, we have to assume that the one on the right could have those windows, and then
That's not get similar.
it's closer.
Similar.
Well, the structure over the garage on the one on the left is completely different from the one on the right.
Yeah.
And then the porch columns are really different. The dormer is a different shape and size.
I could go either way on this
I'd say these are different.
They're different with the garage like you're talking about, but if you take out that one garage, you put windows in, then you're getting similar. So it just depends on what style you're wanting to look at.
Remember, we
Right.
need 3 votes, one way or the other. A 2-2 tie, that does us no good.
Well, I'll go with similar then.
I'm similar.
one. I'm fine with that.
Okay, next. Clay Coastal Classic and the Mitchell Coastal Classic.
Different.
I say different.
Wonderful. Clay Coastal Classic, Paxton Coastal Classic.
Different.
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 Clay Modern Retreat and Finley Modern European.
Different.
So once again, the same question. That could have a front-load garage on the right,
Correct. I think it's a
but it
may
would be 2 singles, not a double.
2 single doors, but yes, but it would be a front.
I still think
Different.
different because of that big
Different.
gable.
I heard 3. The Everett Modern Prairie and that's the Winslow Modern Prairie.
The one on the left's just different from everything, so I don't think.
I don't like the one on the left, so I don't know if I got an opinion on this or not. That one on the left that's
It's interesting.
that's a good word. Thank you.
Different.
I don't dislike it, only because it's interesting.
Looks like a seventies house.
So I think I heard at least 3 difference.
Could the one on
let's
the,
go
ri-
with different.
could on the one on the right have a front load garage that matched the one on the left?
You'd have a front load garage. I don't know that I was going to match it.
Why would you do that to it?
Could you get a front load garage on
Mm-hmm.
there? Different.
The different ones I think left, so.
I think they're
I'm
different
leaving
as long as
that.
there's a
Well,
side
ugly,
load.
yeah.
I'm
Maybe
sorry,
not.
I wouldn't even have that one.
We specify a side load?
I would really rather not do that. It starts getting really complicated with our administration of permits. They have 16 lots and they have like 90
Yeah,
combinations.
just say
They'll be
it's too
okay.
similar.
Yeah.
I think it's different because the styles are so different that
The
I don't
roof
think they'd
line.
ever be confused.
I guess the one on the right is completely hipped
So
off.
different.
You said it's different, you said
Oh,
different?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
We had 3.
There you go. There you go.
Sorry.
I'll go with different.
There you got difference.
There we go. Sorry. Different is what I heard, correct?
Yes.
You're pretty much.
Finley European Romantic and the Mitchell Coastal Classic.
Oh,
Those are different.
Different.
I think they're different.
Finley French Manor, Grayson American Classic.
Different.
Those are different, that one on the left again. Guess that doesn't matter, they're different.
We have the Grayson American Classic and the Rhodes Modern Retreat.
Different.
Different.
Mitchell Coastal Classic, Paxton Coastal Classic.
Different.
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 There's so much going on
Yeah.
in these houses that it's hard for them to be similar.
I agree. Mitchell Western Craftsman, Stanton Western Craftsman.
Different.
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 I think that's it. Yep. Okay, so I have nothing else from a staff perspective. I'll reiterate what I think we talked about. That all homes are going to meet the requirements of the PUD with the following adjustments. All versions of Modern Prairie are good to have gables as presented. That the Teagan American Classic gable pitches are okay as presented. The Finley Coastal Classic gables pitch are okay as presented. That the Teagan Modern European brick and stone versions, that those do not feel to be in keeping with the character and quality of the exhibit in the PUD. And lastly, that from an anti-monotony perspective, the Beckett Coastal Classic and the Rhodes American Classic were deemed as like models. Did I miss anything, Mark?
I don't think so.
I also can restate that as the form of a motion, and someone could say so moved.
I think you should.
Okay. So, someone could make a motion that would state to approve the presentation as presented today with the following adjustments. All homes will meet the requirements of the PUD with the exception of all Modern Prairie elevations are permitted to move forward with gables as presented. The Teagan American Classic gable pitches are presented or approved as presented. The Finley Coastal Classic gable pitches are approved as presented. That the Beckett Coastal Classic and the Rhodes American Classic are deemed like models from an anti-monotony perspective, and that the board considers the Teagan Modern European, both brick and stone versions, as not in keeping with the illustrative character of the PUD.
So move.
Somebody.
First by Tom, second by Dr. Burney.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thanks, Ryan.
So Second item for the agenda is super easy. We went ahead and threw this on today just in case, for some reason, we don't have a November or a December ARC meeting. We would get this out of the way here today. This is our 2025 calendar of meeting dates. So we are keeping the normal iteration or cadence of our meetings. They're third Tuesdays at 5:30. All filings are due 2 weeks prior to that. That's how we've done it for the last few years, I think. We're happy to make any changes if you'd like to see something different, but that's standard operating procedure. So if you're comfortable with this, we would need a motion to approve. So we
Move
can,
we accept the third Tuesday schedule of monthly meetings for next year as presented. Are we
Second.
free of holidays on that?
I think so.
Looks like it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Awesome. I don't think we'll be lucky enough to cancel both meetings the rest of the year, but we can if we're able
Deemed
to.
necessary.
Yeah.
What would our next meeting be?
November 17th, I believe. That sound right? Is it on the agenda? I didn't put it on there, but I think it's November 17th. Let me look. 19th. I was close.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.